guys, welcome back to my channel. In continuing with the series that I told you about in my last video, in comparing holiday 2016 sets to 2015, today I am going to compare the Too Faced sets that were exclusive to Sephora. So last year, if you remember, they released the Paris series, and the one exclusive to Sephora was the Le Grand Palais, and this year they released the Chocolate Shop. So I am going to show you both so that you can see if this year's palette is worth it for you, if it's right for you, if it's worth your time and your money. And so I'll show you swatches of both and let you know if I think they're very different enough to warrant you going and buying it, or if you should just pass on it. So let's go ahead and get started. This year's box came like this. And it's Christmas in New York. I can't remember what the series name was last year. I do remember it had to do with Paris, but it was Le Grand Palais last year, and it's the Chocolate Shop this year. It's specific to New York. They're both consistent in that you open them up, and I've taken the palette out of here so that I don't take a lot of time trying to do that, but you open it up. It's got the really cute display right here, and the bottom part holds the palette down in here. And then last year's was, like I said, it's similar, exact same format, but the inside looked like this, a little Palais. And they each have little travel size products up here. It's like a Too Faced mascara, it's the primer, and it's one of the melted shades. This year, because it was supposed to be chocolate themed, it was one of the melted chocolate lippies. So last year, I want to say it was like melted peony. Same thing. And the palette was housed right down here. So as far as packaging goes, same format, but of course very different places. So I think those are super cute. To me, it's worth it to buy it just for the packaging because those will never come back. So let's get into the swatches, which is what everybody is going to be wondering if it's worth it or not. So let me just give you a close-up of what the palette looks like. So you open it up, and right here, this is this year's. You've got the Chocolate Shop theme, very cute. And then you've got the colors on the bottom. So no mirror because it's got that design. And you've got a whole lot of shimmers, which I prefer the shimmers because I can always grab mattes from a strictly matte palette. I tend to gravitate towards shimmers, foiled shadows, and this does have a lot of them. I really did like it. Now I will say, I think it's a pretty well-known fact because I had already noticed this, and I had a subscriber post a comment saying the thing about Too Faced is that they seem to re-promote a lot of the same colors, and that's the truth. So I'll show you the other palette here in a second, last year's palette. I'm already going to tell you, I don't think they're the same, last year's and this year's. However, I do feel that a lot of these colors are similar to what they've put out recently. I mean, in the past altogether, but especially recently, I feel like, I don't know, I see a lot of the same colors like in the Nikki Tutorials palette, and you know, you'll see some of the matte colors like in the Chocolate Bar palette. So they are pretty similar. I guess at some point they realize like how many more colors can we really come out with. I mean, so that's what that palette looks like. The palette from last year looked like this, and you open it up and it had the little, you know, Parisian theme, the Eiffel Tower right there. And then the palette itself looked like this. And I'm already going to say, this palette, I remember last year got horrible reviews, and I couldn't really understand why. As I read more and more of the reviews, I realized that people weren't liking that these glittery shades. A lot of people don't prefer glittery shades. It has that chunky glitter that'll fall. I think it's all in the application because I use these with the Too Faced glitter glue, and I pat them on, and they work perfectly. I don't rub the shadow on, that'll make the glitter flake down. If you pat these on, you get such a great payoff when it comes to sparkle. And so that's what that looks like. It did get poor reviews last year, but like I said, I you know, regardless of bad reviews or not, the packaging sold it for me. So let's go ahead and take a look at some swatches. Now, I put some swatches on each hand of those that I feel were the kind of the stars of the palettes for me, and they're going to be the ones that stand out the most pretty much to anybody. They're going to be the ones you gravitate to, you want to swatch them. You're going to notice that they look very shimmery, very foiled. They're pigmented. Now, I will say that I don't feel the mattes performed like the foiled shadows in this palette. I found the mattes to be pretty chalky, but I think that's pretty consistent with special holiday releases when it comes to these palettes, is that the mattes don't get as much love as far as them being buttery and smooth. And so, but if I'm getting a holiday palette, it's because I want to use it for those star shades, you know, for holiday evening looks, and those are going to be the foiled shimmery shades. So to me, it's worth it to pick up just for the pigmented shimmery shades. So let me show you what I have on my hand. The very first shade right here is called Indulge. The second shade right up here is called Sugared Raisin. The third one right here that's kind of a coppery color is called Butterscotch. The mint colored one right here, see if I can get you a better swatch right there, is called Mint Chip. The one right below it, right down here, is called, let's see, okay. This one is called Pound Cake. Now I'm going to say that this one, if y'all remember, this was Le Grand Palais, and I think the little house was called Le Grand Chateau. That one had a color that's pretty much exactly like this one. So if you have that little set, then you already have this color pretty much. This one is called Sugar Bells. This lilac color down here is called Jingleberry. And this color right here is called Honey Dip. So that's what they look like. They're very, very pretty, foiled. I mean, perfect for holiday looks. I love them. I'm so happy that I bought this. Packaging aside, I'm happy with the colors. I really do like them. Let me show you how they compare to last year's. Like I said, last year's and this year's, I do feel them to be different enough to where if you're wanting this, I think you should pick it up. Last year's was chunky glitter. Most of them were that were supposed to be the stars of the palette were chunky glitter shades. I love them. I love glitter. I love chunky glitter. If you work with it a certain way, if you use the Too Faced glitter glue, you can pretty much pack anything on your eye without it falling down. So again, this is what it looks like. And then these are what the shades looked like. That one is called String of Lights. Right down here, I have Dreamlight. Right down here, I have Moon on Their Wings. Right here, I have Midnight. Let me see. I'm sorry, no. I have Eiffel right here. Right here, I have Arc de Triomphe. And right here, oops, right here I have Midnight in Paris. I think they're both unique enough to where I am really happy I picked them up. I'm glad I have them both. I do feel there is enough of a discrepancy for you to pick up this year's set, even if you did already grab last year's. Again, you probably have some of these colors already in previous palettes. If you bought the Nikki tutorials, if you bought Too Faced palettes over the course of this year, even previous palettes in prior years, you probably have very similar colors, but you're getting really, really great payoff. There's probably a couple of unique ones. This silver one I feel is pretty unique. I don't think I've really seen Too Faced come out with one like that. And then, of course, you get the packaging. Who can resist that packaging? So this Christmas in New York is made with cocoa powder, like their chocolate bar palettes. So it does smell like chocolate. I will say mine smells a little more faint than, I don't know other people's if they're getting a little bit of a stronger scent. Mine does not smell as strong as the chocolate bar palettes. And so I don't have a problem with that. That's fine with me. The colors are pretty enough to where I'm not upset that mine doesn't smell strongly of cocoa powder, but last year's did not have a scent. It was not part of their scented collection. I feel like this year that whole scented theme just really took off, especially with the peach palette. I really hope that this video has helped make your decision on whether or not you should pick up the Chocolate Shop Christmas in New York set from Sephora by Too Faced. I do think it's well worth it. Again, it's $59, but if you can hold out for the 20% off Sephora sale in November, you'd get that discount, which is also pretty nice. It'd be a pretty good discount. So I will have more videos coming your way in the very near future for these comparisons of 2016 to 2015 sets. If you have any suggestions or any that you'd like to see in particular, please don't hesitate to let me know. Notate it in the comments box below, and I will do my best to get that up for you. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and before I let you go, I do want to give you the verse of the day. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see." I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!